Without any frenzy, the Israeli army advanced 10 kilometers into Syrian territory through the Golan Heights and built a buffer area within Syrian territory together with rebel troops entering Damascus. The world's eyes widened in shock because in less than 2 weeks these rebels succeeded in fighting the Assad regime against Iran and Russia and won. Even Russia, which has a very strong military base in Syria, and on the Iranian side its troops came from Lebanon, namely the Iranian Hezbollah militia, and from the east side other Iranian militias entered from the Iraqi region. Land. Imagine events in Syria. There is Israel, there is America, there is Iran, there is Russia, of course there is the Assad regime, and there are rebels who are consolidating for sure. This gives rise to a new geopolitical map. What if we understand more about Assad, the rebel opposition movement, and the superpowers that play among them on the map? Finally, before conquering Damascus, there are 5 factions at play. The first is the Assad regime, the second is the Syrian Democratic Force in Syria's eastern Kurdistan region. Then there are Kurdish rebels or rebels who are supported by Turkey in the north and southwest of Syria. Then there is ISIS territory, which is fragmented in the Assad regime area on the east and southeast. Then there is Hayat Tahrir al-Syrian in the Idlib region, and then the Assad regime is assisted from the east with the Russian military base, has 8 naval ships with 10 MiG forces, Russian fighter planes, and many other Russian artilleries and weapons of war among the Shiites. So Hezbollah on the west side and east side of Iran helps via land at many bases. The term Assad depends on Iranian ground force on land and air power in the air with Russia since December 2016 in the area we are explaining. This happened in the Kurdistan region. Syrian Democratic Force, assisted by America with several American military bases there. In the Assad regime territory, Russian and Iranian troops have many bases everywhere. Then in 2022, the Russian military invaded Ukraine, which caused a lack of Russian strength in Syria. Russian strength in Syria was only 25%, where Iran has now become Assad's mainstay since 2022. Then there was a Hamas attack on Israel, October 7, 2023, which resulted in Israel attacking Iran directly or indirectly, in which Hamas, assisted by Iran, Hezbollah, assisted by Iran, were all attacked by Israel, including mainland Iran, and high-ranking Iranian officials. Hamas, Hezbollah, were executed by Israel's intelligence forces. Iran's strength in Syria was also reduced by 25%. Russia. Assad is confused. The only one who can protect him, he thinks, is Turkey, while Turkey is upset with Assad regarding Syrian refugees coming into Turkey. Also, the Kurdish separatist movement not only wants to take over Syrian territory, which means that Turkey's eastern side is also threatened by the Kurdish rebel separatist movement. That's why Turkey chose to help Hayat Tahrir al-Syrian in Idlib to pressure Assad to control Syrian refugees from entering Turkey. Do you know how many there are? There are currently millions of Syrian refugees on the Turkish border. There are almost 5 million people. Apparently they haven't responded quickly in the past year. Turkey is increasingly annoyed with the Assad regime's code several times by entering the Turkish army 30 kilometers along the border towards Aleppo. Assad did not take action, nor did the Syrian population become refugees, which drained Turkey's money, which made Turkey even more angry. Several months ago, the Assad regime troops invaded Idlib, which turned out to make the population flee towards Turkey. The Assad regime's open attacks on the HTS area, were directly assisted by Turkey. What turned out to be a failure was that the Assad regime captured the city of Idlib, then withdrew its troops back to Damascus. This was the beginning of the PD rebel army carrying out an attack on Aleppo on October 2nd. Erdogan contacted Putin. Turkey's problem with Syria turned out that Putin was busy. The brain with the Ukrainian war, who openly said that his strength was only 25% in Syria and began to lose grip with the Assad regime retreating to April, where Iran fired missiles with Israel, making Iran's power in Syria split, partly back to Lebanon to help Hezbollah, partly return to Iran. After meeting with Putin, Erdogan clearly knows how to play in Syria. Since then the grand design of HTS began to be designed and executed as today it is Peace 4.